SCP-3138, a Sepulcher by the Sea. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation personnel embedded in literary and academic circles are to be briefed on SCP-3138. They are to report any fictional work discovered to deviate from its canonical number of human corpses. A Foundation-operated bot, IO Mandela, is to monitor websites and online communities centered on discussions of printed media, discussions regarding books that describe more human corpses than are previously expected to be flagged for review. Upon discovery, any printed work of fiction suspected to be affected by SCP-3138 is to be recovered and reviewed by Mobile Task Force Row 1, the professors. Should it prove feasible, all non-canonical corpses are to be extracted, examined, and catalogued. Otherwise affected works are to be kept on-site in a secure locker. Access is restricted to Level 4 personnel. Description: SCP-3138 is a phenomenon involving the insertion of human corpses into a printed work of published fiction. The work must convey a narrative capable of recognizably describing the presence of a human corpse. Inserted corpses will be depicted in a manner suitable for the work. For example, a corpse inserted into a poem relying upon a particular rhyming scheme will be described via this rhyming scheme. Extraction of inserted corpses can be accomplished by destroying the work or editing it to remove the depiction of the corpse. Should this occur, all erased corpses will immediately emerge from the text in question. Notably, corpses that emerge during these events are non-anomalous and show signs of decay reminiscent of extended submersion in an acidic environment. The method by which SCP-3138 is accomplished has yet to be determined. Addendum 3138.1 Recovery Logs. Recovery Log, Discovery Date 16/03/1942. Subject, a 1921 paperback edition of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. "Bless your soul and body, no," answered Wemmick very dryly. "But he is accused of it, so might you or I be. Either of us might be accused of it, you know." "Only neither of us is," I remarked. "Yah!" said Wemmick, touching me on the breast with his forefinger. "You're a deep one, Mr. Pip. Would you like to have a look at Newgate? Have you time to spare?" I had so much time to spare that the proposal came in as a relief, notwithstanding its irreconcilability with my latent desire to keep my eyes on the coach office. Muttering that I would make the inquiry whether I had time to walk with him, I went into the office and ascertained from the clerk, with the nicest precision and much to the trying of his tempest, the earliest moment at which the coach would be expected, which I knew beforehand, quite as well as he. I then rejoined Mr. Wemmick, and affecting to consult my watch, and be surprised by the information I had received, accepted his offer. We were at Newgate in a few minutes, and we passed through the lodge where 3 smartly dressed corpses were hung on the bare walls, their attire dark and unusual. Though shocked by the barbarity of the sight, Mr. Wemmick shushed me and urged me forward, silencing my confusion with a gesture to his lips. Now at that time the jails were much neglected, and the period of exaggerated reaction consequent on all public wrongdoing, and which is always its heaviest. Note: of the 3 recovered corpses, only one could be positively identified. Von L. Kaminsky, an accountant with known ties to Henry Earl J. Wojciechowski, aka Jaime Weiss, a notorious mob boss active in Chicago during the 1920s. An autopsy concluded that all 3 corpses died as a result of pulmonary aspiration. Recovery Log, Discovery Date 06/11/1957. Subject, a 1925 edition of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Through the amorphous trees, the chauffeur, he was one of Wolfheim's protégés, heard the shots afterward. He could only say he hadn't thought anything much about them. I drove from the station directly to Gatsby's house, and my rushing anxiously up the front steps was the first thing that alarmed anyone. But they knew then, I firmly believe, with scarcely a word. 4 of us, the chauffeur, butler, gardener, and I, hurried down to the pool. There was a faint, barely perceptible movement of the water as the fresh flow from one end urged its way toward the drain at the other with little ripples, that there were hardly the shadows of waves. The laden mattress moved irregularly down the pool. A small gust of wind that scarcely corrugated the surface was enough to disturb its accidental course with its accidental burden. The touch of a cluster of leaves revolved it slowly, tracing like the leg of a compass a thin red circle in the water. It was after we started with Gatsby toward the house that the gardener saw Wilson's body a little way off in the grass, alongside 7 more. The holocaust was complete. Note: of the 6 recovered corpses, only 4 could be positively identified. All were known associates of Alphonse Gabriel Capone, aka Scarface, a notorious mob boss active in Chicago during the 1920s, as well as the co-founder and leader of the Chicago outfit. An autopsy concluded that all 6 corpses died as a result of pulmonary aspiration. Recovery log, discovery date 21/02/1982. Subject: a 1912 edition of Collected Poems by Edgar Allan Poe. Collected Poems by Edgar Allan Poe. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulcher with the corpse of Beverly Queen. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. The stars never rise and feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride. In her sepulchre there, by the sea, the corpse of Beverly Queen. Although the recovered corpse could not be conclusively identified, it was determined to be that of an adolescent female. In 1932, a missing person report was filed with the Chicago Police Department for Beverly Queen, a 17-year-old female living with Richard Chappelle, a co-founder of the Chicago Spirit, an anomalous criminal organization active in Chicago during the 1920s. An autopsy concluded that the corpse died of pulmonary aspiration.